All right, welcome back, guys. Today we are going over our homework assignment from Thursday. I really have nothing else to say because I've said it 3 times. I've been busy trying to multiply this problem out, and it creates a problem. Maybe that's where some of the issues are coming in at. Anyways, as soon as I see the square root of x minus 3 in the top and x minus 9 in the bottom, if I'm doing the limit as x approaches 9, it means that it's going to be 9 minus 9, which gives us a 0 in the denominator. That's when we can't do it. So we multiply by the conjugate. Anytime you see the square root, that's what we're going to multiply the conjugate of the top. All the conjugate is switching the signs. Square root of x plus 3, multiply that by that on the bottom as well. For some reason, I keep trying to multiply this bottom out. We're going to leave it how it is for now. So it's the limit as x approaches 9. We'll multiply the top out. Square root of x times square root of x gives us x. Square root of x times 3 gives us plus 3 square roots of x. Negative 3 times square root of x is minus 3 square roots of x. And last is minus 9. As I said, we leave the bottom how it is. X minus 9, then times the square root of x plus 3. Up on top, this cancels. 3 times the square root of x minus 3 root of x cancels out. I'm left with the limit as x approaches 9 of x minus 9 over x minus 9 times the square root of x plus 3. Now, because I have multiples on the bottom, I can cancel this out. I'm left with the limit as x approaches 9 of 1 over the square root of x plus 3. Now, when I plug my 9 in, that gets rid of my limit. It gives me 1 over the square root of 9 plus 3, which is 1 over 3 plus 3, which is 1 over 6. And that's it. The crucial error I made here was trying to multiply the bottom out. If I'm trying to cancel this x minus 9 out, definitely don't multiply it out, or you're going to end up right back where you started, which is what I kept doing. All right, number 30. Again here, if I plug a 4 into the denominator, square root of 4 is 2. I end up with 2 minus 2, and that's no good for us because it gives us a 0 in the denominator. So I have to multiply the top and bottom by 2 plus the square root of x. Multiply by the conjugate. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Now on the bottom, if I'm to multiply this out, the limit as x approaches 4. The top I'll leave the same for now. On the bottom, this becomes 4. And outer gives us plus 2x. Inner gives us minus 2x. Those are going to cancel. Then the square root of x times the square root of x is just x. So now I have the top as 4x minus x squared times 2 plus the square root of x and 4 plus x in the denominator. From here, if I look at this first term in the top, it's 4x minus x squared, which means there's an x in both of these terms. This should be a minus x, because it's negative square root of x times the square root of x. So then, since I have an x in both of these terms, it means I can pull an x out in front, just factoring it out. Limit as x approaches 4 of x times 4 minus x times 2 plus the square root of x. And that's all over 4 minus x. Now I have a 4 minus x that I can cancel with that one. That leaves me with the limit as x approaches 4 of x times 2 plus the square root of x. Now I can plug in 4 times 2 plus the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Questions on 30? All right, 31. Plug the 1 in. 1 plus 3 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 gives me 0. Can't have it. So I have to multiply both the top and bottom by the conjugate. Looking to get rid of that square root. So I'm multiplying by x plus 3 plus 2. And then the top is square root of x plus 3 plus 2. Multiply the bottom out. Limit as x approaches 1. Leave the top in its unmultiplied form. Square root of x plus 3 plus 2. On the bottom, this is going to give me x plus 3 and then minus 4. Now I can simplify this bottom because it's x plus 3 minus 4. It gives me the limit as x approaches 1. And every step of the way, I'm going to try to plug this 1 into the bottom to see if it gives me 0. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 minus 4 still gives me 0, so not good enough yet. Simplify that bottom out, though. That gives me x minus 1. Now I can cancel my x minus 1's out and plug my x in. 1 plus 3 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plug a negative 1 in. That's negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0 in the denominator. I see the square root. That's most likely what I'm going to multiply by. So multiply by my conjugate, x squared plus 8 plus 3. On the top, that's now going to be the limit as x approaches negative 1 of square roots will cancel out. It just becomes x squared plus 8. If I do outside, that gives me plus 3 times that. Inside is minus 3 times that, so those cancel each other out. So all I have to do is the back term. Negative 3 times 3 is minus 9. That's over x plus 1. Simplify the top. Limit as x approaches negative 1 of x squared minus 1 over x plus 1. Still not there. I have to factor my top out. So the limit as x approaches negative 1 of x plus 1 times x minus 1 over x plus 1. X plus 1's cancel. I'm left with x minus 1. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Number 33. Plug the 2 in. 2 minus 2 is 0. So no good. going to multiply by the conjugate on the top and bottom. Square root of x squared plus 12 plus 4. Multiply the top out. I'm going to leave the bottom the same for now in its simpler form, or its factored form. On the top, that's going to give me x squared plus 12, and then negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. On the bottom, I still have x minus 2 times all of this noise. It gives me the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared minus 4 over x minus 2 times all this. If I plug the 2 in, 2 minus 2 gives me 0 still, so I still have done nothing yet. I can factor the top out. X squared minus 4 factors out to x plus 2, x minus 2. X minus 2's cancel. Now I can plug my 2 in. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 12 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8 on the bottom. On the top, it's 2 plus 2, which is 4. This reduces to 1/2. 34, we do the same thing. If I plug a negative 2 in, negative 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So I have to multiply by the conjugate. And again, we don't want to multiply this top out until we absolutely have to. On the bottom, though, this is going to give us the limit as x approaches negative 2. This times this gives us just what's inside, x squared plus 5. Negative 3 times positive 3 is minus 9. Up on top, leave that the same. On the bottom, I can simplify that now. X plus 2 times the square root of x squared plus 5 plus 3. On the bottom, that becomes x squared minus 4. Still, if I plug a negative 2 in, that's not going to work. So I have to factor my bottom out. Bottom factors out to x plus 2 and x minus 2. X plus 2's cancel. Negative 2 minus 2 gives me negative 4, which is not 0. Then I plug negative 2 in. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 over negative 4 gives me negative 3. All right, on to the easy ones. 39a, if my limit is x approaches c of f of x equals 5, and the limit is x approaches c of g of x equals negative 2, all I need to do is plug my limits in. If it's f of x times g of x, and it's still the limit as x approaches c, that just gives me negative 10. Part B, it's 2 times negative 10. So that's negative 20. Part C, it's f of x, which is 5, plus 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. That gives me negative 1. Part D is 5 over 5 minus negative 2, which is 7. Number 40, limit as x approaches 4 of f of x equals 0, and the limit as x approaches 4 of g of x equals negative 3. As long as these limits are all approaching 4, we know that we're just plugging those numbers in. Since they all approach 4, we're just plugging in now. G of x plus 3, that's negative 3 plus 3, which is 0. Part B, it's x times f of x, that's 4 times 0, which is 0. For C, it's g of x squared, so that's just negative 3 squared, which is 9. And for D, negative 3 over 0 minus 1, negative 3 over negative 1 is positive 3.